Friends, hope you're all safe at home, you're doing well, and I welcome you in the next class, that is 7th standard. So, children, now we will be learning the chapter of science subject, that is nutrition in plants. Okay, tell me something about nutrition. Yes, as you know, we all human being or plants, animals, whomsoever it is, needs nutrition for their smooth functioning of life. Is it? So, will you please take out the page number 5? There you can see first lesson is nutrition in plants. Okay? Now, here is the definition of nutrition. What exactly it does mean? So, different living organisms have different modes of nutrition. As you know, कि plant is having their own mode of nutrition. Humans are having their own modes of nutrition. है ना? कोई प्लांट्स, हम लोग जैसे इंसान हैं वो कुछ प्लांट्स भी खा लेते हैं, जैसे मेथी की सब्जी हो गई, पालक की सब्जी हो गई, और जो एनिमल्स है दे ऑल आर डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर थिंग्स, लाइक some are herbivorous, some are carnivorous, like you know. So here animals and humans depends on other animals or plants for their food. जैसे कि एनिमल्स हो गए और इंसान हो गए, वो किसी के ऊपर, दूसरों के ऊपर डिपेंड है. लाइक लायन कैन नॉट मेक हिज फूड, इज इट? ही नीड्स टू वेट फॉर हिज प्रे. Likewise, humans are also depends on others. He needs to sow the seeds, he needs to wait till the crop grows, and then he will do other processes. So ultimately what's happening? Animals, some animals and human beings are dependent on others, right? Now plants are the living organisms which make their own food, and you'll be surprised to know that plants, yes, I'm talking about plants, who are a living organisms which makes food by their own for themselves. Do all the plants get nutrition by themselves? It's a big question, is it? Yes. Now you can see on the board, first point we have covered nutrition. Now modes of nutrition, how the plants are taking their nutrition from other sources, or how they are getting their nutrition from different modes. So we are having two main modes of nutrition, that is, first is autotrophic. You can see autotrophic nutrition, and other hand you can see heterotrophic nutrition. Fine. Now we'll come to the point, autotrophic nutrition. Green plants make their own food by a process called photosynthesis. Children, you might have learned in previous class what is photosynthesis is. Maybe you are having rough idea of the photosynthesis. What exactly is there? है ना? Those plants are doing their photosynthesis. Those are called phototrophic plants. Is it? Or phototrophs. Fine. They prepare their food with the help of green pigment called chlorophyll. Okay, let me tell you in short that photosynthesis consists of chlorophyll, sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. Means this process contains of these all things which completely forms photosynthesis process. And chlorophyll is the main content for the photosynthesis process. Fine. They prepare their food with the help of green pigment called chlorophyll, which is present on their leaves. क्लोरोफिल के लिए पौधों के पत्तों को कहीं और नहीं जाना पड़ता है, वो उसी में रहते हैं. Chlorophyll are present on the leaves itself, right? This mode of getting nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. And the plants, those who are getting their nutrition through chlorophyll with the process of photosynthesis, is called as autotrophic nutrition. Is it? Plants are the only living organisms that follow autotrophic mode of न्यूट्रिशन. क्या ह्यूमन बीइंग फॉलो करते हैं फोटोसिंथेसिस और आर दे ऑटोट्रॉफिक? नो, बिकॉज ऑटोट्रॉफिक nutrition must be needing chlorophyll, which is only present in leaves, right? So human beings are not autotrophs. Now we will be going through the process of photosynthesis. Our mother cooks food with the help of many raw material such as salt, vegetables, water sources of heat, vessels, etc. Similarly, plants also need some material for the preparation of their food. हम अब घर में सब्जियां खाना बनाते हैं तो कितनी सारी चीजें लगती है ना, एक सब्जी बनाने में कम से कम 7-8 इंग्रेडिएंट्स तो आराम से लग जाते हैं. सेम वाइज फॉर द प्रोसेस ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस वी विल बी नीडिंग क्लोरोफिल, सनलाइट, वाटर, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, एक्सेट्रा. Are you getting me, children? Without these things, photosynthesis process will not be there, right? Now let me get you through all the process. Chlorophyll. Now just understand the importance of all these things. Chlorophyll, the green color of the plants is due to the presence of chlorophyll, which is a pigment present in the leaves. I have told you why the leaves are in green in color, because chlorophyll pigmentations are present in their leaves. That's why that color becomes green. So whichever plant's leaf is there, automatically they will contain the pigment called chlorophyll, right? Now sunlight. We know that the sunlight is the major source of heat and energy. Of course, everybody needs energy. So everyone present on the earth, whether microbes, animals, human, all are needing sunlight for their different processes and purposes, right? So green plants need sunlight to prepare their food. Green plants need sunlight to prepare their food, as we need heat to prepare food. Likewise, plants need sunlight to prepare the food. Now the chlorophyll present in the leaves helps to capture the solar energy. The chlorophyll pigment which is present in the leaf, it helps to absorb the sunlight to make the food. Clear? Now water. We all need water for our nutrition. It's very common factor. Each and every living organism needs water for their life process. It's really very important. The scientific name of water is H2O. Water, H2O. Similarly, plants also needs water for their nutrition. Automatically, when I am talking about living organisms or things, so plants are also the part of living organism or things, right? The plants have small tube-like structure called the vessels. जैसे हम लोगों के शरीर की बनावट है इंसानों की कि we do have veins, different kinds of veins, arteries in our body. Likewise, plants also do have their own structure in which a thing called vessel, tube-like structure, vessel is present. It is called vessels, right? They are present throughout the body. Plant में हर जगह, each and everywhere vessels are present. When the roots take up the water from the soil, it is then transported to all the parts of the plant by the vessel. Now, जैसे हम लोग मुंह से खाना खा के पूरे शरीर में हम लोगों का न्यूट्रिशन जाता है, likewise water, roots of the plant takes water from the roots and it goes all around the body of the plant through that vessels, is it? And next, carbon dioxide. Leaves have small pores present on the lower surface of the leaves. Okay, leaves have very small fine pores on the surface of the leaves. They are known as stomata. You might have studied stomata in early class. They absorb carbon dioxide with the help of stomata from the environment and use it in the process of photosynthesis. Now it's the duty of stomata to absorb CO2 from the nature and convert it into the process of photosynthesis. Is it? So photosynthesis is mainly done by autotrophs, right? And it's one of the mode of nutrition of plants, that is photosynthesis. And photosynthesis consists of chlorophyll, sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. And our next topic is role of leaves in photosynthesis. Children, down there on the page number 6, can you see the diagram of a leaf in which they have shown light energy on the top of the leaf, means like chlorophyll plus water plus glucose plus oxygen. They are taking CO2 from the air, okay, and this all water, soil absorption through they are absorbing soil from the root, means water and everything, nutrition they are taking from their root through the vessels to all the parts of the plant, right? Then they are releasing oxygen to different parts of plant, is it? So role of leaf in photosynthesis. Leaves play an important role in the photosynthesis process. As I told you before that chlorophyll is the thing which is highly required for the process of photosynthesis. They have stomata which help them to take in the carbon dioxide. As I told you, on the leaf, on the top of the leaf, there are small pores like structure. It is called as stomata. Through the stomata, plants absorbing carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis, right? Next, the stomata releases oxygen after the process is completed. See, here two things are happening. Stomata first absorbing all the carbon dioxide from the nature, and after the process completion, when the process is completed, it is releasing oxygen, right? Means first absorption of CO2, then releasing of oxygen. But when the complete process is done of photosynthesis, they have chlorophyll which helps to capture the sun's energy. Means chlorophyll helps to absorb the sun's energy. They are therefore called as food factories of the plants. Just imagine if chlorophyll is not present in the plant, on the leaves, then how they will make their food? No, it's not possible at all. That's why the chlorophylls are known as the food factories of the plants. Okay, children? Now, the next point is leaves of different colors. How many of you have seen the white color plant leaves? Some of them are light yellow in color, some are yellow in color, some plants leaves are even in red color. So these are all depends on the pigments which are present in the leaf. Like in previous process we have seen the chlorophyll pigment. It's a kind of pigment, right? So because of green color, it happens just because of chlorophyll, right? Now the leaves other than the green also have chlorophyll. Now I have taught you before that if the chlorophyll is present in the leaf, it means those are green in color, but it's not exactly like that. If leaves occurs in different colors also, though in that also chlorophyll is present. The large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color. अब जिस भी इसमें मतलब पत्तों में रेड, ब्राउन एंड अदर पिगमेंट होते हैं वो ग्रीन कलर को मास्क कर देते हैं. इट मीन्स वो उसको कवर कर लेते हैं. क्लोरोफिल तो पक्का रहेगा उसमें, पर ऐसे दूसरे भी पिगमेंट्स रहेंगे जो उसको कवर कर लेंगे. आर यू गेटिंग मी? यस. नाउ फोटोसिंथेसिस टेक्स प्लेस इन दीज लीव्स ऑल्सो. अब जैसे कि हमने पहले पढ़ा है कि क्लोरोफिल की जरूरत होती है फोटोसिंथेसिस के लिए, जिसका मेन कारण है ग्रीन कलर के लिए जो सबसे ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. बट नाउ हियर इट्स नॉट लाइक कि इफ क्लोरोफिल इज नॉट प्रेजेंट और लीव्स आर नॉट ग्रीन इन कलर, so photosynthesis will not happen. No, it's completely wrong. As I have told you in the second phase of leaves in different colors, I have clearly mentioned that chlorophyll is present but it is covered with other pigments, right? So in these colors also photosynthesis happens. Okay, now next is products of photosynthesis. अब भाई कोई प्रोसेस हो रही है तो उसका कुछ ना कुछ तो रिजल्ट्स आना ही है. जैसे कि अगर हम चावल पकाने के लिए रख रहे हैं तो वो पकने हैं, कच्चे रहने हैं, जल जाने हैं. दैट इज मीन्स इट इज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट और प्रोडक्ट कि हमने कच्चे चावल बनाए रख दिए, अब थोड़ी देर के हमें बाद पके चावल मिलने वाले. सो लाइक वाइज इन दिस ऑल्सो वी आर हैविंग द प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस. These are the material that the green plants need for making their food. Leaves of green plants prepare the food for the plants by using chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. As I have told you, the process of photosynthesis is done with the chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water, but compulsory in the presence of what? Sunlight. Without the sunlight this process will not done. Okay, after the process of photosynthesis is completed, some products are formed as the end product. जैसे मैंने कहा है कि कोई भी प्रोसेस का एंड होता है, at that time we should get something as a residual. So in this process also we are getting like plant gives out oxygen. जैसे मैंने कहा है कि अगर स्टोमेटा नेचर से CO2 लेता है तो प्रोसेस होने के बाद O2 भी रिलीज करते हैं. मतलब ऑक्सीजन, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड स्टोमेटा खींचेगा तो प्रोसेस होने के बाद वो ऑक्सीजन भी रिलीज करेगा. सो दैट इज वन पॉइंट, दैट इज प्लांट्स गिव्स आउट ऑक्सीजन. दिस इज वन प्रोडक्ट. इट इज नेसेसरीली फॉर ऑल द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स फॉर द रेस्पिरेशन प्रोसेस. So children, just imagine how important this process is for ourselves also. This is not only for the plants but for us also it is very important. Until and unless they will not absorb the carbon dioxide, they will not release oxygen for the respiration of human being. So plant as much as you plants you can plant. Okay, for that पीपल आर सेइंग कि जब आप ज़्यादा झाड़ पौधे लगाएंगे तब आपको बहुत साफ सुथरा नेचर मिलेगा. इट मीन्स जितने आप पौधे लगाओगे उतना कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का एब्सॉर्प्शन होगा और उतना ही ऑक्सीजन फ्रेश हमें मिलेगा. राइट. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज प्लांट्स ऑल्सो गिव आउट द एक्स्ट्रा वाटर थ्रू द स्टोमेटा. दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड ट्रांसपिरेशन. क्या कह रहे हैं ये लोग कि प्लांट्स ऑल्सो गिव्स आउट द एक्स्ट्रा वाटर थ्रू द स्टोमेटा. अब जो पोर्स छोटे छोटे हैं ना इसके ऊपर, लीफ के ऊपर प्रेजेंट, इट्स टू मेन पार्ट्स आर देयर, वर्किंग पार्ट्स आर देयर. वन, टू एब्जॉर्ब द CO2 फ्रॉम द नेचर and to release excess water which is not at all needed, to release out that water from the stomata itself. And after the completion of the photosynthesis process, it releases oxygen also, and that releasing of excessive water is called as the transpiration. transpiration. I repeat, the process of losing water from the surface of leaves is called transpiration. Yes. Now, the food prepared in the photosynthesis in the form of carbohydrates or sugar or glucose. Now, whatever food that photosynthesis process in that photosynthesis process is making, it is in the form of carbohydrates or sugar or glucose. Is it? It is converted into starch and it's stored in the plant's body. After this completion of the photosynthesis process, the food is in the form of carbohydrates, sugar or glucose, and after that it is stored in the form of starch in the plant's body, and then according to the use they are using that food, right? Different plants stores their food in different parts of their body, such as stems, roots, leaves, seeds, fruits, flowers and etc. Children, now it's not really needed to tell you the parts of the plant, stem, roots, leaves, seeds, fruits, flowers, etc. as you have learned it from the, I think so, senior KG maybe. So you must be knowing that and you should know, right? The next is plants which don't have leaves. Now, how many of you can tell me one example of such plant which is not having the leaf? Can anybody? Okay, let me tell you. Some plants like cactus do not have green leaves. Have you seen the cactus plant? The leaves are reduced to spines. The spine structure is present all over the cactus plant, right? So that is none of the other than what? Leaf, right? Leaf. They are converted into leaf. As they grow in the deserts, they don't get enough water. Children, you must be knowing cactus only can be found in the deserts area. Okay, because there is scarcity of water. So you can find cactus plants all in the sand areas or in deserts. Their spines help them to reduce the loss of water. वो जो कांटेनुमा जो स्ट्रक्चर उसके ऊपर है वो ऐसे ही नहीं है. That helping to reduce the need of the water. Spines help to reduce the loss of water. मीन्स जो मॉइस्चर होता है पौधे के अंदर जो मॉइस्चर होता है, इट इज प्रिवेंटिंग दैट मॉइस्चर गोज आउट. इट इज प्रिवेंटिंग दैट प्लांट फ्रॉम द लॉसिंग ऑफ वाटर थ्रू द ट्रांसपिरेशन प्रोसेस. In earliest point I have taught you what is the transpiration. The process of losing water from the surface of the leaves is called transpiration. Here in this point, in cactus plant, transpiration occurs, but to save that plant from the transpiration, those spines help them. Okay, such plants prepare their food with the help of their stem. Now the stem which is present in the cactus plant, it helps them to prepare their food. Thus their green stems carry out the photosynthesis process. In other plants what is happening? Leaves are helping them to complete the process of photosynthesis, and in case of cactus the stems are helping them to complete the process of, correct, what? Photosynthesis. Now the next point is importance of photosynthesis. Children, it is very important to know what things have their importance in our life. Is it? So likewise photosynthesis is also having lot many importance in plants life, and directly indirectly they are useful for us also. So the next point is importance of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a very important process for the other living organisms to survive on this earth. Some of the factors which shows that the life would not be possible without photosynthesis are. ओके अभी इनका कहना है कि फोटोसिंथेसिस हर एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर ये ना हो तो शायद ही जिंदगियां यहाँ पर मुश्किल से रहे. ओके सो व्हाट विल बी द प्रोसेस एंड व्हाट विल बी द इंपॉर्टेंस आर एज फॉलोज. द फूड स्टोर्ड इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द प्लांट्स इज ईटन बाय द एनिमल्स एंड ह्यूमंस. नाउ द फूड स्टोर्ड इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ प्लांट, human being and animals are eating those things, right? So we are getting our nutrition from the plants itself. Hence all the animals and human beings directly or indirectly depend upon the plants of their food. As I've told you in the beginning of the lesson itself that we are also getting nutrition from the plants, like we are having all green veggies, that is all the plants only. They are all doing their photosynthesis, because of which we are getting our food, right? Now during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is released out in the atmosphere by the plants. As I have told you that when the process photosynthesis occurs, at that time leaf, the stomata which is present on the leaf, that is absorbing CO2 from the nature and releasing oxygen after the complete process of photosynthesis. That is why we are able to breathe. We are breathing fresh air now. Why? Just because this photosynthesis process is happening. So we are getting this oxygen, right? Since the oxygen is required by all living organisms, it should be present in an adequate quantity in the nature. The photosynthesis process maintains the balance of oxygen in the nature, as the amount of oxygen released out is equal to the amount of carbon dioxide that was taken in during the photosynthesis process. Now what they are trying to say, that no doubt that oxygen is at most important for the all human being, but to maintain the proportion of what carbon dioxide and oxygen, this process helps to keep the balance between both of them, right? The X amount of carbon dioxide what stomata is observing, same that amount of oxygen only that leaf is releasing. Are you getting me? Suppose that leaf is absorbing 5 number of carbon dioxide, and at the same time that leaves releases 5 number of oxygen. So it is balancing. It is the balance between what? Carbon dioxide and oxygen, right? So this was the importance of photosynthesis process. Okay children, the next part is heterotrophic nutrition. We have already seen there are 2 modes of nutrition. First is autotrophic nutrition and second is heterotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition we have learned the process photosynthesis, which is very important, right? And now we are turning towards heterotrophic nutrition. In the early classes you might have studied that the organisms which do not make their food by their own called heterotrophs, है ना? In short, the plants which cannot make their food for themselves are called as heterotrophs, right? And autotrophs means they are making their food by their own, right? All the living organisms other than the green plants are heterotrophs, as they depend on the plants and animals for their food. Thus, non-green plants and animals are also called as, and their mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. Now, similarly, there are non-green plants which depends on the other animals or plants for their nutrition. This mode of nutrition is called the heterotrophic nutrition. Children, non-green plants are depend on the other animals or plants are and their nutrition, and that mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Right? Now, as we have seen two types of nutrition or two modes of nutrition. First is autotrophic nutrition, second is heterotrophic. Likewise, in heterotrophs also, we can see the four types of plants. You can see on the board. First is parasitic plants, second is saprophytic plants, third is insectivorous plants or carnivorous plants, and fourth and last is symbiotic plants. Okay? Before going to all these types of plants, I'll just explain you the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Children, you can refer the page number 8 down below. There is two different columns. One is autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So, first, this type of nutrition takes place in green plants. I have told you already. And heterotrophic, this type of nutrition takes place in non-green plant and animals. Just remember, here in autotroph, green plants, in heterotrophs, non-green and animals. In autotrophic, solar energy means sun's energy is required for the process, and in heterotroph, already energy is produced in the body itself. Third is, food is made from raw materials like sunlight, water, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide by the process of photosynthesis in the autotrophs, right? And in heterotrophs, food is obtained from the animals and the plant sources. Fourth, digestive process is absent. Digestive process is present, right? Fifth, if it is found in green plants, blue-green algae and autotrophic bacteria. It is found in non-green plants, fungi, bacteria and all animals. It is very simple, children. You can just go through it. You will understand what is the difference between heterotrophic and autotrophic things, right? Now, we are moving towards the types of plants. First plant is parasitic plants. Can you tell me the meaning of parasites? Can anybody? Yes, parasites means the the living thing which is depends on others to provide their food is called as parasites. Depends on others. In simple language, depends on others. So, here is the definition. The plants that lives on other plants and obtain their foods or nutrition from them are called as parasitic plants. And this type of nutrition is called parasitic nutrition. Okay, जैसे heterotroph था, जैसे autotroph था, अब ये कैसा है? Parasitic न्यूट्रिशन है कि एक प्लांट दूसरे प्लांट के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, उसी से वो अपना फूड एब्जॉर्ब करता है, राइट? द प्लांट्स फ्रॉम विच द पैरासिटिक प्लांट्स ऑब्टेन न्यूट्रिशन आर कॉल्ड द होस्ट प्लांट्स. ओके, सम ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स शोन बाय देम आर. अब इनके ना कुछ गुण होते हैं, जो पैरासाइट्स होते हैं ना उनके कुछ गुण होते हैं कि वो लोग ऐसी ऐसी चीजें फॉलो करते हैं. ओके, लाइक देयर स्ट्रक्चर. So they do not make their own food and they don't have chlorophyll. जो parasitic plants है, they don't have chlorophyll present on their leaves. They always depends on others, right? And they can't make their food by own just because the chlorophyll is absent, right? They contain special structures or tubes called haustoria. Okay? They contain special structures or tubes. I have taught you before that when what? 1 minute. I'll just tell you. Vessels. Vessels are present in the plants, right, to transport the food system in what normal plants. But in parasitic plants, haustoria like structure is present to absorb the ready-made food from the host plant on which it climbs, right? हॉस्टोरिया एक ऐसी चीज है जो बना बनाया खाना दूसरे प्लांट में से एब्जॉर्ब करके इन प्लांट्स को जिंदा रखते हैं. इनका खाना ये लोग दूसरे प्लांट से लेते हैं, खुद नहीं बनाते हैं, राइट? दे आर एब्जॉर्बिंग रेडीमेड फूड थ्रू व्हाट? हॉस्टोरिया. सम ऑफ द पैरासिटिक plants live on the body of the host plants. They are called as ectoparasites. What? Ectoparasites. Why they are called as ectoparasites? Because they are living on other plants' body. Okay. Some parasites live inside the body of the host plants. They are called as endoparasites. I repeat, some of the parasitic plants live on the body of the host plants. They are called as what? Ectoparasite. जो किसी प्लांट के ऊपर रहते हैं उनको ectoparasite बोलते हैं. And some parasites are living in the body of the host plant. They are called as endoparasites. Ecto means बाहर, endo means अंदर. In this type of association or mode of nutrition, the host plant is always a loser and the parasitic plant is always benefited, right? One of the examples of parasitic plant is the Cascaton or the dodder plant or umberbale. This plant has a yellow tube-like structure. It wraps its body around the stem and branches of a plant, and the hostoria sucks the nutrition from the host plant. Some of the other examples of the parasitic plants are witchweed and brombraid. Now on the page number 9 you can see those diagrams: Coscata, witchweed and brombraid. Is it clear, children? In this, what we have learned, parasitic plants are the plants that do not make their own food but obtain their food from other plants and animals. The parasitic plant that lives inside the body of the host plant is called as endoparasite, and which is living outside it is ectoparasite, right? Now moving towards next type, it is saprophytic plants or saprotrophs. Simple. This is second type of heterotrophic plants. So saprophytic plants or saprotrophs do not have chlorophyll. Now here it is clearly mentioned that saprophytes or saprotrophs are not having chlorophyll. Just keep in mind. Hence they do not carry out the photosynthesis process. As you know that for the process of photosynthesis, chlorophyll pigment is essential. Without the presence of chlorophyll, this process will not be completed. Thus, in this saprophytes, there is not the process of photosynthesis. They depend on the dead and decaying organic matter and get their nutrition from them. On which they are depends on सड़े गले चीज like dead and decaying organic matter and get their nutrition from them, right? The mode of nutrition in plants such as fungi, mushrooms and some bacteria, example Lactobacillus azotobacter, is a saprophytic because they derive their food from the dead and decaying organic matters. Have you seen any kind of फंगस ऑन फूड आइटम? कभी देखा है कभी रोटी को वो ऊपर से कुछ सफ़ेद सफ़ेद सा जम जाता है, घर में अचार में कभी जम जाता है, या फिर कोई भी चीज़ बटर जैम. if you have seen some very fine structure like thin structure like forms, that is called as fungi. That is the main thing which is called as saprophytes, right? Saprophytes secrete digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter and convert them into a solution, then absorb the nutrients from it. Now see how clever they are. What they are doing? They are secreting digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter itself and converting into them into a solution. Then they are absorbing the nutrient from it. Is it? Now here they have given a table which shows the differences between saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. There are main three differences. Children, you can go through it. I am just reading it out. The process of obtaining food from the dead and decaying matter is called as saprophytic nutrition. किसी और से लेना है ना. Process of obtaining food from dead, मरे हुए और सड़ी गली चीजों से न्यूट्रिशन लेना, इट इज saprophytic. Parasitic means process of obtaining food, shelter from other living organisms. दूसरों से लेना मतलब parasitic, right? Saprophytes absorb the digested food material from the decaying waste. अभी saprophytes क्या करते हैं? अपना digestive juice छोड़ते हैं, उसके अंदर वो एक solution create करते हैं. Through that solution they are observing their food, right? But parasite absorbs the food from the living organisms itself directly. जूस का कोई चक्कर ही नहीं है, डायरेक्ट वो अपना फूड उसमें से लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स से या होस्ट से एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं, राइट? सैप्रोफाइट्स का बेस्ट एग्जांपल है फंजाई और बैक्टीरिया, इज इट? एंड पैरासिटिक का एग्जांपल है कैस्किटा और डॉडर प्लांट, राइट? नाउ द थर्ड पार्ट इज or third type is insectivorous plants or carnivorous plants. Children, have you ever heard there are some plants who are eating insects? Okay, forget it. Have you ever seen this kind of thing in your cartoon things or in the pictures? You must be, right? So, moving towards insectivorous plants are the insects eating plants. They are green in color and make their own food. Insectivorous plants, what they are doing? They are eating insects and they are green in color. They are making their own food. That's it. If they can make their own food, then why do they eat insects? Is it? क्वेश्चन मार्क होगा आपके दिमाग में. अगर वो खा सकते हैं तो फिर वो फिर इंसेक्ट्स क्यों, अगर अपना फूड. So children, you must be thinking they can make their own food. Then why do they eat insects? Correct. Your question is very correct. We all know that the nitrogen is the most important component for the plants. Is it? Yes. It's really very much needed for their growth. Insectivorous plants are found in the areas where the soil does not contain an adequate amount of nitrogen. Therefore, they take in nitrogen by outside sources, that is by trapping and eating insects. As you know, we are having n number of micronutrients in our body present. We are getting it through different nutrition sources that we eat, okay, or plants eat, or plants when they goes for photosynthesis and all, okay. So they all takes their nitrogen sources from outside by trapping and eating insects. The insectivorous plants have special leaves structure that help them to catch their prey. They don't have their leaves normal. They have such plants, such leaves structure that they helps them to catch their prey, right? Some of the examples of the insectivorous plants are, first is pitcher plant. You can see their diagram on page number 11, up right there. First, from left hand side, first is pitcher plant, okay. A pitcher plant has specialized leaves that have a pitcher like, means jug like. Pitcher means jug like structure. This structure has a lead that can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. बच्चों जग तो सबके घर में रहता ही है, आपको पता है जग को एक ऊपर एक ढक्कननुमा चीज होती है, अगर पानी आपको पोर करना है तो यू विल ओपन दैट, यू विल पोर वाटर एंड यू विल क्लोज दैट. Same wise, the pitcher plant is having one closing and opening for the prey sake, right? The lid gets closed and the insects get trapped in the pointing. Once an insect enters the pitcher, the lid gets closed and the insects get trapped in the pointing hair present inside the pitcher. The pitcher then secretes the digestive juices to digest the insect. Heterotrophic, what they were doing? Same. They were releasing some solution, and after releasing those solution, they were secreting juices, digestive juices on the dead and decayed material, and they have formed a solution through which they were taking their nutrients. Likewise, here pitcher is also what doing? Once an insect enters the pitcher, the lids gets closed. ठीक है, जैसे ही पिक्चर के अंदर कोई इंसेक्ट गया तो उसका मुंह बंद हो जाके उसके अंदर एक हेयर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर रहता है जो उसे अंदर पकड़े रखता है. Present inside the pitcher. The pitcher then secretes the digestive juices to digest the insect. Same for digesting that prey, that pitcher plant needs to secrete the digestive juices. Next is Venus flytrap. The leaves of the Venus flytrap also have special structures. Now, if you can see the middle plant, which is red and green in color, with thorny structure around. Venus flytrap. The leaves have short and firm hair called trigger. What? If you can see the small hair-like structure, it is called as what? Trigger. Once the insect sits on the leaves suddenly get shut and trap the insect inside. Are you getting me? If the insect sits on the leaf, it gets shut and automatically that prey gets trapped, right? Now, Utricularia. They are free-floating plants. They have special structures with tiny bladders which are attached to the leaves. They trap very tiny insects with the help of the bladders and digest them. Sundew plant. If you can see the third diagram, it is of sundew plant. Sundew plant. These plants have sticky hair on their leaves. What? Sticky hair. The hair have a coating of a liquid wraps around it. What? Once the insects, the hair have a coating of a liquid which gives off a scent to attract the insect. I am repeating it. These plants have sticky hair on their leaves. The hair have a coating of a liquid which gives off a scent to attract the insect. Once the insects get stuck to their hair, the hair wraps around it. Okay, the digestive juices are secreted on it by the hair. It is then killed and digested by the plant. Simple. The hairs which are around the plant it is sticky in nature. The hair have a coating around the hair have a coating of a liquid which gives off a scent to attract the insect. And after that, once the insect gets stuck to the hair wraps around it. The digestive juices are secreted on it by the hair. Then it is killed and digested by the plant itself. Okay children, now we are moving towards next point. Means fourth type of heterotrophic nutrition is symbiotic plant. What is symbiotic plant? The symbiotic type of association or partnership is a special partnership among two different types of plants. Up till now we have seen each and every types were having their own single types. Now here we are having two kinds of association of plants, right? They live together and share their shelter and nutrients with one another to sustain their life. मीन्स ये साथ साथ रहते हैं, एक दूसरे को बढ़ने में पलने में एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते हैं. दे आर वेरी गुड. दे बोथ हैव अ एडवांटेज और बेनिफिट. Some of the example of such type of associations are, this is next point. I just wanted to explain you the definition of symbiotic plant or what it is. The plants that live in association with other plants. I repeat, the plants that live in association with other plants and share shelter and nutrients are called symbiotic cells. Okay? Now, we can see some examples like lichens. Lichens are the association of two different kinds of plants. Okay, they are an alga, autotroph. Autotroph means what? Presence of chlorophyll pigment. For what? For the photosynthesis process. And a fungus means a saprophyte. Saprophyte means what? Saprophyte means they will produce or secrete digestive juices on what? Dead and decaying matters, and from that they will produce a solution, and from that solution they will absorb the food. Okay. Now the next is an alga being green in color is an autotroph, that is it makes food by the photosynthesis process. I have explained you. It shares its food with the fungus, and in return the fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the alga. Okay. Therefore, both the plants are benefited by this associations. There are fungi which live in the roots of the trees. They supply certain nutrients from the soil to the tree, and in return the tree also provides nutrients to the fungus. Now our next point is mineral nutrition in plants. Children, minerals are also equally important for the growth of the plant. So here minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plants from the soil. It is called as mineral nutrition. This is very simple definition of mineral nutrition. How the minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plants from the soil. It is called the mineral nutrition. We know that all the plants needs water and minerals for their proper growth. How many of you don't know this thing? Come on, we all needs it very badly, whether it's water, minerals or vitamins. We know that all the plants needs water and mineral for their proper growth, health and development to sustain their life. Children, if you will not drink water, then what will happen for so many days? Likewise, it will happen same with the plants also. They absorb minerals from the soil. From there, where they will get the minerals? From soil. From the soil, correct. As the plants or the crops keep absorbing the mineral from soil, they are needed and in an adequate quantity in the soil. Children, as you know, the plants will absorb the minerals from the soil, but from the soil when they will absorb, it should be present in adequate amount in soil itself. If the minerals will not be there present in the soil, from where they will get it? Yes, for that purpose, the balance should be proper, or it should be maintained with the soil. Fine. Now, there are two methods. If you can see the page number 12, upside there are two methods which by which the balance of minerals in the soil can be maintained. Okay, the first is symbiotic relationship of bacteria and leguminous plants. What is symbiotic relationship of bacteria and leguminous plants? Plants such as peas, grams, beans, etc. are called the leguminous plants. What is leguminous plants? Which plants? Peas, grams, beans, etc. The leguminous plants have root nodules in which rhizobium bacteria are present. Have you ever seen मूंगफली के जो मूंगफली जब लगती है नीचे, with the मूंगफली there are small like ball structures are present. In that ball structure, rhizobium bacteria are present. These bacteria are capable of converting the atmospheric nitrogen into the soluble form. What? The bacteria are capable of converting the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form. They supply the nitrogen to the plants, and in return the leguminous plants provides shelter and food to the bacteria, as they are not capable of making their food. It's that simple. See, इस हाथ ले उस हाथ ले. What these rhizobium bacteria are doing? They are converting the what? Nitrogen. They are converting nitrogen into atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form. इसके बदले what this plant is doing? Providing shelter and food to the bacteria which he cannot prepare, right? So it is like shelter, symbiotic relationship. Next method is addition of manures and fertilization, for which we are doing all this thing to improve the quality of soil. What? To improve the quality of soil, by which we can improve the amount of mineral in the soil. Okay, now the next point is addition of manures and fertilization. We know that these are commonly added by the farmers in their fields. Children, you must be knowing these farmers are saying about भाई खेत में खाद डालने हैं, वो ये करना है, वो करना है. That does mean it is they are what they are doing? They are adding fertilizers or manures to their farm areas. They use them to increase the productivity of their crop. For what they are using? To improve the quality of their crop. Manure is added to the soil before growing a crop, and the fertilizers is added when the crop is in growing stage. Two things they are adding. What? First is manure, second is fertilizers. But there are the different timings to provide them into the soil or to the crop. So what manure is? Manure they are providing before sowing the seed. Okay. And when they were providing fertilizers they are providing after growing up the crops, means stage of growing, not fully grown, but when they will come little, right? Fertilizers contain mineral nutrients such as potassium, phosphorus, nitrogen, etc. Hence, they enrich the soil with certain nutrients and increase the productivity of the crops. Okay, children? Children, I hope you have understood this lesson. If not, okay, just we will take a recap. You can read it with me on the page number 12. They have provided a tree diagram to us, in which the main chapter's name is nutrition. Nutrition, in that we are having modes of nutrition, that is of two types. One is autotrophic nutrition and second is heterotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, what we have seen? The process photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, what is happening? Carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives us sugar or oxygen, means it is food product for the plant. And second is heterotrophic nutrition. Now heterotrophic nutrition means what? The food, the plant which is depends on dead material, decaying things, or they are producing digestive juices, and with that they are making solution, and from that solution they are absorbing the food. Again, that is of four types: parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, and symbiotic plants. What parasitic plants means? Parasitic plants means depends on other. In that also we are having two types of plants, parasitic plants: endoparasitic and ectoparasitic. Ectoparasitic means endo means lives inside the plant, and ecto means lives outside the plant. Saprophytic means what? Saprophytic means insects digest juices of the dead and decaying matter and convert them into a solution. Insectivorous means what? They are eating the insects, right? And symbiotic means they are forming the relationship or partnership among two different types of plants, is it? And third one is mineral nutrition plants, means minerals are also absorbed by the roots of the plant from the soil. It is called as mineral nutrition. And the two methods to improve the mineral nutrition in plants are: one is symbiotic relationship of bacteria and leguminous plants, right? And second is addition of manures and fertilization. Is it? I hope you all have got the lesson properly. Hope children you will study it at home. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.